Right.
And then they came over and they said that they were sorry and that it had just been too long. So one thing that haunts me is that I slept next to him dead for a couple hours, or that if I could have done something sooner.
All right, here we are. My name is Huseman, and we are here with, go ahead, say what you gotta say. Say your name, where you come from, all that good stuff. You introduce yourself.
Where I come from, came down the street from Newport Beach, California.
That's right. Mean streets.
And my name is Lyndi Kennedy, and I have worked out at Box House with Andre.
Yes.
We're friends with a lot of the same people, and we
can have some of the same circle and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, known you for a couple of years now.
All right, and you know what? You know why I'm doing this show. I'm really excited to do it because I have a newfound appreciation, not just for fatherhood, but for motherhood, but just the birth of kids. It's such a blessing, as you know.
It's kind of wild, really.
It's a wild experience, especially for the delivery process, which we're going to get into. One of the things I enjoy talking about right now with this series of what I'm bringing out, it's like talking about the inception, right? It's like, dude, what happened? Were you married? Were you not married? Did you guys agree on kids? Did you not agree on kids? And if so, what did that look like? Do you remember what it felt like to take a pregnancy test? Did you take one? Did you not take one? And then all the feelings leading up into, boom, I gave birth, and here's what it is. How many kids do you have?
3.
I want some names and ages. That's what we want.
Well,
say the ages. You have to say the ages.
So I have a 23-year-old.
Okay.
His name is Quinn.
Okay.
And he was named after Quentin Tarantino, or that at the time. And he just graduated from UCSD, and he's down in La Jolla, California.
Okay.
And then I have a 21-year-old who lives here in Newport and works at Lido House Hotel and works with cars. And then I have a 10-year-old. I have a 10-year age gap.
Okay.
His name is Nixon, and he goes to school here in Newport Beach.
And you're busy.
I am busy. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you got the boys, plus your own life, and how's the dynamic? How's the relationship? All the 3 boys plus yourself.
It's different probably than a lot of people's, but then again, there's all the similarities too. So I'm divorced, and so my ex-husband lives. You know him. He lives down the street. He's like 5 minutes from me. Okay. Which makes it really easy for us. Oh. We get along well. It is such a blessing. Yeah. But whenever people think that came easy, it didn't. Like, we worked at that. We had our battles. We had our fights during the divorce. There's a reason we're divorced.
Yeah, right.
So in a perfect world, I would love to be married and have that family unit intact, and my kids be raised in a home with the family undivided.
That makes sense.
It's probably my biggest heartbreak in life, is raising kids in a divided family. Okay. That's probably been something that I wouldn't say I regret. I don't regret my marriage with him. I loved him. I don't regret any of my children. I love them. Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to see at holidays and stuff, like all the Christmas cards, and that's hard for me. But he's like a brother. He's like a best friend now. We get along great. We have 3 beautiful, healthy children. That's awesome. I'm blessed. Yeah. We get along great. Okay. Our son plays a lot of baseball. He's the coach. We spend a lot of time together. Right. Yeah. So
probably during the process of all that, that shit doesn't feel right. Doesn't look right. Now, but where you're at now,
I want to pack an ice chest with my husband and sit at the games, and it's just but it's okay because this is my story.
And this is what it is. So I want to take it back to your
you want to go way back.
I want to go way back. And you must have been 15 years old when you had your first one.
People earn points if they say that. So I was raised Mormon, and you're kind of raised, especially me, I was raised in a very sheltered environment in Temecula, California. Okay.
Is the community out there predominantly Mormon?
There's a lot of Mormons there.
Okay.
I don't know if I would say predominantly like Utah. Right. But I feel there's a huge community of Mormons there when I was growing up. Okay. Yeah. And there was just this known, it was kind of just known to me. No one talked to me about going to college or having a career. Right. It was like, you're going to get married, be a wife, and have kids. That was
This is your role. This is your job. Yeah. Is that pretty deep instilled in that community? Those types of morals, if you will, and ethics, and sort of, here's what you have. You're going to grow up and you get married, forget the education. It's about your kids. It's about you serving your husband, maybe serving your community, but at the very least,
your place is in the home. Yeah. Wow. Sewing, gardening, cleaning, cooking.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Very old-fashioned.
They don't even make those women anymore.
I know. I know.
So I'm going to have to go down there and go check it out and see what's going on over there. You said cook, clean, what else? No, I'm kidding.
Take care of your husband.
Right?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I didn't. It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
It didn't. I thought I'd get married and be happily ever after. It didn't feel like I was going to be this submissive, like, Stepford wife. I thought I was going to be in love with him and we were going to have a beautiful family.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it as a negative thing.
Okay. So did you end up moving this way? And then where did sort of, you don't practice that?
I don't. Okay. I went to college. Against what I probably was supposed to do, just get married right away and stay in Temecula probably, like most people in my high school. Yeah. I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to do something. Yeah. So I went to school in Utah. And I would say that there were a lot of people there that did want to have some type of education and career. Like my family and a lot of Mormons are that way. But I wouldn't paint them all with the same brush. Okay. There were plenty of people that were like, no, my parents said go get an education and then you have something to fall back on if something happens. But mainly you're going to be a mom. Probably.
I love that phrase. I grew up with that phrase. I think every fucking person grows up. Go to school, get education, get the degree, so at least you have something to fall back on. Yeah. That whole fall back on.
That's what I would tell my kid.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
No one said that to me.
I know.
But I kind of knew it though.
Yeah. Intuitively, you sort of had that in you.
Yeah. So I did. I went.
Okay.
But I moved back to California after 2 years because I didn't really like how cold it was there. And it was culture shock for me to live in Provo, Utah after coming from California. I was a beach girl.
Culture shock.
It was, yeah. I didn't like it. Didn't like it there.
Okay.
So I moved back.
I'm not going there.
Don't go there.
Okay, we'll go there.
Do you like the cold?
I do, but I don't.
You know what?
To visit. It's a vacation. I'm down to go to Big Bear during the snow.
Yeah.
Be in a cabin for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Put my asses on.
And go home.
The 57 freeway, making my way home.
Yep.
For sure.
Are you from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. I was born in Santa Ana, raised in Anaheim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm from here.
That's Orange County people.
Yeah, I just moved, so.
Yeah.
So you go up there, you come back down, and where does the relationship start with your son, the husband at the time, the boyfriend? What was that?
So I moved back here, and I said I can't after the cold. I'm just moving to the beach, and I'll probably get married and have kids soon. So I want to live by the beach. Okay. So I moved to Huntington with some friends that I knew from high school. Okay. And I had so much fun. I loved living in Huntington. Yeah. I had a blast, and glad I did it. I was still Mormon, so I didn't really drink, and I had a little beer or wine cooler here and there, but not much,
Zima.
A Zima. But we used to put Jolly Ranchers.
Skittles.
Or Skittles
in the Zima. I know. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah.
So good times,
Yeah.
So, and then I met my first husband, and I met him. He was Mormon, and we were waiting till marriage, so we did it pretty quickly. So we got married quickly.
When you say we were waiting, give the fans what do they want? What are they talking about?
They want to know.
Yeah, they want to know. I know what I want to know. Like, what do you mean when you say we wanted to wait or hurry up?
Saving
you were
myself
celibate, right?
for marriage.
Yeah, for marriage. Okay.
Yeah.
Saving yourself for marriage.
To have sex, Andre.
Got it. That's what they fucking want to hear. They want to hear that. Waiting to have sex. Got it.
We
did that. You waited.
We did do that though on our honeymoon. Like the night of.
Got it done.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Did.
Good for you. So
I like my blushing.
You'll be fine. So so you guys do that, and then collectively you guys get married. You do your thing. Where in the relationship was like, hey, I want to have kids? Or was it kind of an unknown thing? Or was it a known thing?
We talked about having kids before even getting married, and I wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
And I wanted like 6 kids. Yeah. And he was fine with it. He was
That's a lot.
He was like, whatever you want.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it's in your DNA when you're Mormon. I don't know
what
it
kids.
is. Yeah.
Pump them out. Got it.
So, and So it wasn't even something we tried not to do. Okay. I think I got pregnant either my wedding night or within that week.
So that quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's wild.
It's like a few weeks later, I didn't start my period.
You're not on any contraceptives. Is that against?
I wasn't on any kind of birth control.
No birth control, right?
None.
And is that sort of against can I say Mormonism? Is that a term?
Well, they kind of like the term Latter-day Saint, LDS.
Okay. Yep.
But everyone knows them as Mormons, so it's a little easier to say that because then people know what you're talking about.
Okay.
If you say LDS, they're like, you're doing LSD or you're doing
right. Okay.
But they prefer LDS.
Okay, I'll use that. Whatever works.
Mormons are fine. It's fine.
Mormons are fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're practicing that. You're not. You get married. I'm pregnant. How do you find out What, are you get sick? Are you throwing up?
Yeah, so I was late. I didn't start my period.
Okay.
And I was pretty regular.
Yep.
I've always been pretty regular. So for me, I was like, well, that's weird, but I'm probably pregnant. Like I just knew.
Yeah.
I just kind of knew. Yeah.
I've heard that for so many women
I just knew.
that are just like, I just knew I was pregnant.
I did.
And so you're one of the ones that like had a really good intuition, which is one of the qualities that men lack, which is intuition. You guys have it.
Yeah. I feel like if I had always listened to my intuition my whole life, I'd probably be on a really good
path.
Yeah.
We want to go against
Looking back, it was like pretty much right every time.
Yeah. Amen to that. So let's say this. You're pregnant. How do you truly find out? Do you take a test?
So I did go get a test. I said, oh my gosh,
How many did you buy? One or two?
I think we bought a couple.
What did I say on my last year? Everyone always steps up and buys. You had to like 2 or 3 because you just feel like, I think they sell them in 2-packs now, as they should.
So now they do.
Yeah.
But I don't think 23 years ago, I don't think they did.
No, they didn't.
And so I bought a couple, and they're like $20 each. You're like, oh, it's, I'm young. I'm like $40, but
whatever, it's worth it.
So I do it. And
at the house?
I'm like, I go home.
Where's he?
He's there with me.
Is he waiting?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he's like, okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, and I look, and it was just 2 bright lines, just young, healthy pregnancy.
Healthy
you know what
lines,
I mean?
just like for sure. Ours were kind of meek. I'm like, is that a line? What is that?
Yeah, I think when you're just young.
Yeah, and you were 20 what?
I was 21.
21. I mean, you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's his reaction? What's your reaction, right? Were you guys
Although I don't think I was mature as I am raising my 10-year-old.
21's young.
Patient. I'm so much more patient, and I have self-discipline, and I don't get angry easily or
frustrated.
I don't get frustrated. Like I remember with the younger two, I'd be like, "Gosh, why can't you tie your shoe faster?" Or like. Right. So why do you make all these messes? And I'm just like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think your body is much better at making babies when you're young, but I think up here you're better older.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And I'll have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about being 21 versus 31.
My body was just like,
done, prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here I like who I am as a mother more with the young one. I love them all, but
of course, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Totally.
I feel like I'm still growing up.
Well, you're growing up, and then you're also growing up with them simultaneously.
Yeah, I was growing up with them.
It's like, it's not kids having kids, but it's young. It's a young perspective. It's someone that's like, you're still learning who you are as a woman, as a person.
Still figuring things out.
Still figuring things out. Your own temperament, right?
Yeah.
And for me, too, as a parent, I still have snappiness from, hey, put that down. I already told you 27 times.
Right.
I have to monitor myself, pull myself back a little bit, use different techniques that I'm reading or learning about, or maybe my wife gives me some feedback on coaching my kids or disciplining my kids. So I think it's always going to be a learning curve, whether my age coming up on 40 or a 21-year-old. You still really never know, right?
Yeah, it's not like you went to school to be a dad.
No, I would have got an F for sure. That's for sure. I wouldn't have paid attention. I'm someone that I need to be on the field.
Do it, right?
I got to be on the field. I need the experience. I need a hands-on experience. You could read it from a book. I can watch an interview. It's not going to hit the same.
As soon as you walk me through it though and do it, I'm like, oh.
Right.
Okay.
So you're pregnant. What's his emotion? What's his reaction? What's going on?
He was really cute. He kind of got teary-eyed and he was really excited. Yeah. Which it made me look at him a little differently because I thought, oh wow, that's so sweet. I just look at men, and my dad didn't show a lot of emotion.
Okay.
So I really wasn't used to that. My dad didn't cry. He didn't show a lot of.
Why do you think that was?
Well, I think that generation. He was born in 50. He passed away last year. He was 70. So I just don't. I think that was
a generational thing, a cultural thing too.
I think so. He was raised by a single mom in LA. Kind of she was never there, and kind of had to raise his brother, and their dad was
time for emotions.
Absent, and I think he just, I don't think he had that luxury.
Yeah.
50 Cent said something really quick though. He said something like having emotions as a man and being depressed and all that's a luxury. I didn't get to do that.
I did see that. I did see that.
I kind of knew you did for some reason.
I did. I saw that and I said, wow, there's a lot to be said about that.
Don't you think he's right though?
I think he is, because there's a lot of men that don't get the opportunity, men and women that don't get the opportunity to feel all the emotions available.
There's no time for that.
One, there's no time for it in certain cases. And then two, I think the biggest thing, you probably weren't shown those emotions. You don't know how to display it.
Yeah.
For
you
sure.
Need someone to help you navigate those and make you a safe place to do that. I don't think my dad ever had that.
So the dynamic between your father and then seeing your current husband show his emotions.
Yeah.
What did that do?
He would just like hug me and like put his hand on my stomach, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he was a lawyer. He'd gone to law school.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just really wanted, he was like, it's a boy and we're going to name him Justice.
Done.
And I was like, I don't really like that name.
It's done deal.
I didn't like, so his name is not Justice.
Okay.
But we were into like Quentin Tarantino movies.
Okay.
For whatever reason, that was a long time ago.
Right.
And so his name's Quinn, but I just didn't like the name Justice. I'm sorry if anyone's name is Justice watching this.
Not for you.
It just wasn't for me.
So essentially in your first trimester, right? What were the feelings? Were you sick, motion sickness? Were you throwing up? Were you peeing all the time? What, did you get any of that stuff?
All of it.
You got all the feels.
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Some of those girls that say, I just love being pregnant, I'm like, really though?
Some of them do. I have a few friends that are, and they're rare. I won't be interviewing them. You hear that? If you had an incredible pregnancy, I'm not interviewing you. It's not for the show.
I just don't know if I believe you.
I don't believe you first and foremost, and it's just not exciting. But let's talk about the feelings that you had. Let's talk about the emotions that you're going through. So your first trimester, you had all the feels, the throwing up, the emotions, the sickness.
I had the emotions of being so excited to be a mother.
Okay.
I was so excited. And also, I just felt so privileged. I thought, I get to make a human being?
Yeah.
Wow, like that's so cool. I just felt so,
I felt really blessed.
It was just a really blessed, like miraculous thing that I just was trying to process that I was actually really doing. And until you're really doing it and you have seen your baby come out, it's like no one can really explain that to you until
it happens. Yeah.
So
were you throwing up at all?
So I started waking up so sick. I was like barfing, like running to the toilet to where I started sleeping with a bowl or a pan next to me.
No.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
I would be driving in the car and we'd have to pull over for me to throw up in the street. Like,
wow.
It was
really getting bad, huh?
Yeah, I'd end up in both the first couple of pregnancies. By the third, I kind of figured out how to avoid this, but I ended up in the hospital on IVs, like dehydrated. I just couldn't keep anything down. So it was a little rough for me that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're moving into the second trimester, right? And I always ask women
throwing
that.
Up.
No, come on.
Yeah. All the way till like 8 months. When they say it's over at 3 months, I'm like, who are these people at 12 weeks?
They do. You know, they had told, obviously me, and they told my wife, second trimester, things are going to get a little easier for you.
Yeah.
And she went through some of those things, like, hey, it's a little bit lighter. I feel kind of like somewhat like myself. I can maybe start working out again. Wasn't the case for you. No. Still throwing up. Yeah. Still felt like shit.
The third one I felt the best on, and I don't know why, but.
Yeah. Tired? Were you tired?
I was really tired. Headaches.
Exhausted. Yep.
Throwing up.
Oh, you went through it, huh?
Oh, and then towards the end I get, because the baby's pushing up.
Correct.
All the
acid reflux.
Heartburn.
Heartburn. Yep.
I used to see those commercials for like Pepcid, AC, and I'd be like, I don't even know what that is. Now I know what that is, and it is horrible. I don't know if I'd take the nausea or the heartburn over.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Yeah.
We're in the second trimester. Let's just call it month 3.
Okay.
Month 3, you're pregnant, you're still feeling all the feels, you're still throwing up, you still feel like shit. Let's call it what it is. You have a very interesting story for this very reason. Walk us through the night that you and your husband lay in bed.
Okay.
And then the next day.
So we go to bed like normal.
Yeah.
And then I was 3 months pregnant. We'd been married at this point for just probably a little over 3 months, 3.5, 4 months. And I woke up, I think, really sick and wanted I think I was asking him to get me, like a sparkling water. I would drink some of those in the morning before getting up, or saltine crackers. And I was like hitting him. His name was Brett. And I just kept saying, Brett, hey, can you get me some crackers? I'm gonna throw up or something, And I kept hitting him and he wasn't even moving at all. And he wasn't budging at all. And I just was like, what's going on with him? And this is probably like 6, 7 in the morning. And I started, and something just told me that said he doesn't feel right, like he feels weird. And if you've ever picked up like a snake, like a boa constrictor or something like that, for the kids, I've had their reptile parties and all that. His arm felt like the way a snake feels, like it just felt hard and cold. And something just told me something's not right. Like I think he's dead. Like I've never seen someone passed away before or anything. And yeah, So I get over him, and I'm like, wake up, and I'm slapping him and hitting him, and he has like blood coming out of his nose, and he just looks kind of purplish white. So I called 911, and they got there really quickly, I have to say. Like within a few minutes, I heard the sirens, and they were there. And I called my parents, and they...
Did they go right to work on him? Did they?
Yeah, they got there, and they right away, they put him on the ground. And they started doing, and they had a lady come with, the police came too, and they had a woman, I think she's called like a grievance counselor.
Okay.
And they had her and the police take me separately. They didn't want me right there.
Right.
And then they came over and they said that they were sorry and that it had just been too long. So they said it'd probably been a couple hours. So one thing that haunts me is that I slept next to him, dead, for a couple hours, or that if I could have done something sooner or something, So, so they came over and told me it had been too long, there's nothing they could do. And that's when the wall, everything started just spinning, and I just remember sitting on the couch, and by that time my sister-in-law had gotten there, my mom and dad had gotten there, I think someone from church, it's kind of blurry, some of his family and mine were there, and I couldn't even hear what they were saying or anything around me, and and then I went with my parents back to their house, and I just still didn't believe it was real for a long time. It took me like weeks to not think that he was going to come back, or
it's very sudden. You've been married a few months. You've been pregnant a few months. You're in sheer bliss, really.
So excited for this new life.
Yeah. And then this happens. You wake up, your husband's dead. How do you go on? How do you proceed? A couple of weeks go by, walk me through that. You're still pregnant. Like the game's still on, right? Like, how do you feel about that?
That was the hardest thing, is I thought, I don't want to do this alone, and I went through stages of like grief and anger and sadness, because I felt abandoned. I felt like he left me. He died of opiate poisoning. So he wasn't drinking and smoking, he was Mormon, but he had migraines, and the doctor prescribed it. But we went to court with the doctor over, wrongful death and things like that, with the pharmaceutical company. But basically no one will ever know the truth. I mean, one day maybe, but right now, I think he might have been using too much, and there might have been some addiction there, but we don't know, and it might have just been the migraines. Maybe the doctor prescribed too much, we just don't know, but basically opiate poisoning, his heart stopped, and it killed him. And now I've got this baby coming into the world, my first one. I wanted to be a mom my whole life. Did not picture it alone. Went to Lamaze classes, and my parents went with me, staring at all the couples in Lamaze class and looking around at them with the husband with his hand on the woman's back saying like, babe, you got this. And I'm looking at my mom and dad, and of course I'm grateful they're there. But I wanted my husband there. So I just felt scared. I thought, I'm bringing this child into the world. And
you're 21.
I'm 21 years old. I turned 22 before I gave birth to him. And the hardest thing is him. Every time I looked at the baby.
Did you feel cheated?
I felt cheated of the experience. I felt angry at God.
I
felt angry, even though he didn't mean to die. He didn't commit suicide.
Correct.
That I know of.
Right.
I felt angry with him. Because maybe he should have been less, maybe be more responsible. I don't know, why are you taking these opiates? Like, you have a pregnant wife. It made me feel like, did he really love me? Did he really, was he really excited for this baby? Because if he was,
he wouldn't have,
would he maybe have been a little more careful?
You've gone through a lot of scenarios in your head, a lot of reasons to justify why you were in the position that you're in, why he may have done this. You've probably played out every single scenario in your head about...
And I don't have the answers.
I know. That's a crazy part, huh?
He's gone.
Yeah.
And there's no one that knows what was going on in his head.
Right.
You know?
Other than him.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a lot to take in. Not even just for me. I think for the people that are viewing this, because this story went left.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna hit this thing down the fairway.
I know when you asked me to come on, come talk,
yeah, I was like, dude, we're going hole in one. Now we're in the sand trap, right? We got to get out. So that's a unfortunate event. That's very, very sad. Let's just call it what it is. How do you pull yourself out? Does it take years? Does it take time? But before we even get to that, we still got to have a baby.
We still have to have a baby.
We still got to have a baby.
But you know what my answer was going to be of how I got out is that baby.
Yeah. That was going to be your way out.
I mean, I was so excited to have him still, but I was scared and didn't want to do it alone.
Of course.
And I was worried about him.
Yeah. Let's move into the third trimester.
Okay.
Third trimester. At this point, my experience, not that I've had one, just being a viewer and talking to my friends, like, oh, I can't wait for this baby to come out.
You just want it out.
I can't even handle it. I'm peeing all the time. I'm exhausted. I'm still tired. This shit sucks. I don't know how,
fits.
Nothing fits. I'm over it. I can't.
Uncomfortable.
It could come now, and I don't care. I just want to be done. Go back to my normal life.
Yeah.
I want to meet the baby. All that stuff too. So, talk about the third trimester. Did you feel all the things I just said?
Everything you just said.
More, I'm sure.
It's almost like you've been pregnant, Andre.
I'm telling you, man. It's like.
Are you sure?
It's hell. I know it can be. And so going into that third trimester, everything that I mentioned, those are the things that you're feeling.
Peeing all the time, heartburn,
pressure,
tired, pressure. You're just like, is it gonna come out? Because it kind of feels like it. And it's just, you sit like this and you're like, and then you can't get comfortable. It's
sleeping on your side.
Yeah.
Then this side.
All these doctor's appointments. Every minute you're looking, you're like, oh, is that my water? Oh, is that my mucus plug? Which is so gross.
Right.
There's some gross things. I like clean things. So it's not like kind of gross. And, it's very like, well, and then, I mean, you get very open and get very,
I mean,
it's
out there.
Like I used to do modeling and acting, and you have to learn to be pretty, you've got people
of course
changing you and touching you, rubbing like
probing
shiny stuff on you, and you've got like them fixing your hair and makeup and changing, and you got to change really quickly in between. So you see people naked. Yeah. But I mean, having a baby's a whole other thing because you've just got like. It is out there.
Let me just tell you this, it is out there. If you choose to be in the room, which let me tell you fathers, if you have the opportunity to be in the room with your wife or your significant other, be in the room. Be in the damn room. I'm telling you right now, they need your support, they need your help. And more than anything, you're gonna watch life become life.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing.
No.
You could win 25 World Series. You could win 25 Super Bowls. I'll tell you right now, you ask any of those men that are real men, they'll tell you, watching the birth of their first or second or third, there's nothing that compares to it.
No, it is one of the most beautiful. It is the most beautiful thing in my life for sure. And I don't know if a girl really tells him she doesn't want him. I don't know one woman that doesn't want him there. So if you don't want to be there for some reason, I'd say fight it too and
fight it. Man. Get in there. Get in that room.
We need you there.
Yeah.
And
if that's your support, that's your rock, that's your better half, all the other endearment in terms of endearment.
Even if you want to be up here.
Right, just be there.
I know girls that are like, well, don't go down there.
Yeah, don't go down there, just be behind me kind of thing. But still, hold the hand,
just
support.
Be up here,
yeah, absolutely. So let's go into it. Is it time to go to the hospital?
Time to go.
It's time to go. What are you feeling? You're like, it's hitting me?
My full on, I had textbook like contractions started, water broke, they got closer together and stronger. I was 2 weeks late, so I mean, I was ready to have this thing. I was living at home with my mom and dad because that was my support system.
Right.
And it was the first grandchild of my parents and everything.
Oh, it's game time. It's game over. It's game over. So we get to the hospital. Where do you have your son? Where do you have him? What hospital?
Down in Temecula.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Because you're back home.
Because I was back there.
Okay. Okay. So Temecula, you get to the hospital. What's going on?
Everything's fine, going good. A few hours of just waiting and contractions. Right. And then all of a sudden, the nurse comes in and says, "Everyone needs to get out." The doctor says you need to all get out, and beeping, and I don't know what any of it means. I'm scared. And she's like, just don't worry, we got this. And they're whispering and they're talking to each other, and they were not good about I had on Martin Luther King Day, so my doctor was off. So I had the doctor on call. So this first baby experience
you're
was
like This is just getting better. It's like,
what I signed up for at all, okay?
I saw this movie. I thought it was going to be this glorious thing. And
yeah, I saw all those movies, and it just, no.
Yeah.
So the guy says, I said, well, what's that? And he says, don't worry, it's something, it's like a plunger. I made it in my garage. He was kind of a
What?
jerk. Yeah, he was a dick.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's a plunger?
Yeah. Well, that's what he said, but I don't think it
Yeah, I know. I know, but I'm like,
so they had
I'm not trying to hear that one.
They had to suction him out. The heart stopped. His heart stopped. He got stuck in like my canal.
Uh-huh.
And his heart stopped. I think he was
C-section or?
So no C-section because he was too far. He was
traditional.
Like right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But his heart stopped, and so that's what with the beeping the monitor would, and that's why they told. Yeah. So he got stuck, and so they had to plunge him out.
They get him.
So he had like the cone head.
Cone head, right.
And
who's in the room with you?
They had to stitch me up pretty good because at that point it was just the doctor and the nurses. Because this is 20 years. Now I think they let some, but they were like everyone out. Like we need, this baby could die. So I'm kind of glad they did what they did because it didn't. He's perfectly healthy. Everything's good.
Yeah.
So thank God, I guess.
Yes.
But they could have communicated with me better. They didn't tell me what was going on. They just kind of said, just lay there and we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Don't push, don't do anything, just spread your legs.
Yeah.
And we're going to suck this baby out.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Suck the baby out.
With a plunger.
That he made in his fucking garage. That's dope. Pulls the baby out.
Here I am though, 22 years old, and I'm like, huh?
Huh?
I didn't even know about,
I know.
No one talked to me about, what's it?
Epidural?
What did I call it? No, I had an epidural.
Okay, good.
Oh, I didn't want. We didn't talk about that.
You didn't want one?
I didn't want one because I wanted it to be natural.
Miss me with that.
So on like.
Get the epidural.
Yeah, so I did.
Did you have one for the other ones?
No, I ended up even getting one on that one.
Yeah.
I said, okay, give it to me.
Yeah. Did it help?
So I got it. Yeah. Oh, it was wonderful.
Of course.
And then the next two, I said, give me the epidural.
I know people are gonna be like, well, there's side effects and blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, you tell that to a woman who's screaming.
Yeah.
Bloody
I think I was dilated to like
6,
7
7
when I said, just do it.
Because around that time, getting close to them not being able to.
That was what it was. I was like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did it.
You get that cutoff point, they won't even give it to you.
No, and so that's why, and they kind of gave me a heads up on that, and I said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So with the other two, I said, forget this natural stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. Love to be the mom that said she did it natural at a water birth at home with a doula.
I get it. Yes. That sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful. It sounds very euphoric.
It does.
But I've been in the room. There's nothing euphoric about it. I don't think.
No. So mine's at Hogue and the other two, and everything. So
they plunge the baby out.
So they plunge him out. He's perfectly healthy though, and
all right.
And I don't feel it. I haven't.
Right.
Lots of stitches and everything, healed up. We're good. But
let's talk about the baby, and then they put him on your chest. You did chest. How did you feel? Did the emotions come in? Did you just feel?
It is, and it's so crazy because all three of them were all like this, and it is something. I have no words for it. It is the most beautiful love in the entire world. Say what, if you can kind of describe it, because I tell people you can't really describe. It's like telling someone that's never had a strawberry, like what does a strawberry taste like? It's like, it's sweet, but if someone's blind and you're trying to tell them what the sky looks like,
that's a great one.
It is the most purest form of love I've ever felt in my entire life. It hit me. And I realized that the second they put this child in front of me, I would do anything for it. I would die for this baby, and I'm madly in love with it, and I don't even know it.
And that is motherhood. That is fatherhood. That is being there. That's being present, and that's being in the moment. That's what it's truly all about.
And like, how could you feel this way about something that you've never even spent, time with?
Again, I can't even explain that either.
Right. And I would take a bullet for it, and it's
done deal. And I've said this before, the fact that I can't describe it, I'm happy that I can't.
Yeah.
Because if I
could, go find out for yourself.
Go find out for yourself, and you'll truly feel, and you'll be changed for life, or at least I think you should be changed, because having kids it is the best. You watch yourself grow up. A version of yourself grow up is wild to me.
Yeah, and do you know what my favorite part is? A balloon is so cool again. The zoo.
Yeah.
I don't care about going to the zoo that much.
Don't.
It is fun again. Going to the beach is so fun again. You get to live through them. An airplane is
everything.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
a dog.
My daughter thinks airplanes are superheroes.
Yeah.
Because she watches Avengers and things like that, and so she's like.
So now we get to like experience that through their eyes again, and that's one of my favorite parts. Like they just crack up over like it's just amazing.
Lyndi, you have such an incredible story.
Crazy.
It's a wild, crazy story. I literally thought we were gonna hit this thing down the fucking fairway, and then you're like, bunker,
not with
sand
me.
trap, this one in the woods. Let's get back on the green.
Not with this girl.
I know, right? But at least we're on the fairway, we're on the green, and we're gonna knock it in. But before we can do this little knock in, if you have a message for the viewers, messages for mothers, you have a very unique situation. It's unique in the sense that you are one of one, but I think there's a lot of other people, a lot of other women, right, that are watching this that are like, man, that's kind of similar to my story. Maybe my husband didn't die, or maybe they did, that you're going to relate to. Do you have a message, just an overall message of being pregnant, the experience and having a baby and motherhood? Is there anything you want to say? We know you love your kids. You
told me that before. No, I'm kidding. We
know you love your kids. We know that you're passionate about your kids. We understand that. We understand that you really feel that you are blessed in a lot of ways. And even though you went through a very, very traumatic experience, you're here now to tell the story, which is even more remarkable. And you're totally and completely open about it, which is what, not only do I respect that, so do the people here, because again, if you had an amazing pregnancy, you're probably not going to be on this show. But if you have a really wild, different story, people want to hear that, because I think there's a lot to be said. So any final message for the viewers?
Well, I think everyone's situation is different. Being a mother is my greatest gift and greatest blessing that God's ever given me. And I think that if you even slightly want to, you should do it. And there's many ways to be a mother. I know there's a lot of women that are struggling with not being able to conceive, and I have also miscarried and everything. It's a painful experience. I have plenty of friends who can't conceive, and I know it's really painful for them. But you can adopt, and you can be there's a lot of children out there that have earthly, parents, but you can still mother your nieces, your nephews, your friends' kids. Sometimes they need other allies. They need other
That's a great perspective.
Support,
that's a great perspective. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. My parents were a little emotionally unavailable for me, so I found support with women I babysat for, or friends at school or church, and I think that that's really important. So being a mother isn't always just blood. That's powerful. And then also with like the hard times, I'm trying to give some encouragement, because I made it. I'm here to talk about it.
Words of encouragement.
My son is beautiful and smart, and he's achieved his goals, and he works in a lab at Scripps, down in Scripps in La Jolla, California. He's doing okay. He doesn't have a dad. He has an adopted dad, as we know. My second husband adopted him, helped me raise him, and is still a dad to him. See, it's not his blood, but he stepped up and became a father to him.
That's incredible.
And he has brothers. It's not always easy, that's for sure, but it's definitely made me who I am today to tell this story. And there's processes of grief. Like you said, maybe your significant other hasn't passed away, but maybe he left you, or maybe you're broken up, or maybe he's in jail, or maybe
not present at all, just for whatever reason.
Maybe he's there, but he's not really there.
Ooh, that's a good one. There's a lot of that going on.
That's lonelier than being alone.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. So
that's another story. That's another podcast.
That's a whole other podcast, because sometimes the loneliest place is in a home with
someone there.
Yeah.
But they're not really there.
Yeah.
Wow. Well.
So I don't know how religious your podcast is, Andre, but for me, it's whenever I seek God is when I've gotten the most peace and been able to get through all of it. So.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Lyndi, I want to thank you so much for being on this. I'm excited to put this out there. I think the viewers are going to have a good time with this one and really get a lot out of it more than anything. So
I hope so. And
I'm hoping they watch it all the way through, because I think you have an incredible story. But I have to say this every single time we do the show. Although your story is great, I just feel like nobody cares anyways at the end of the day. And that's why we started this show. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this. Lyndi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bring it in. I'm doing this podcast for a lot of different reasons, but more than anything, I want to get perspective on new mothers, current mothers, mothers that are excited, mothers that are indifferent, mothers that are looking to be incredible moms. I want to get all those emotions, all those feelings, all those conversations on the table, all to say that at the end of the day, nobody fucking cares.